A literary enigma, the Shakespeare authorship question. William Shakespeare. The name conjures images of quill pens scratching parchment, sonnets flowing effortlessly, and plays brimming with wit and wisdom. He is hailed as the greatest playwright in the English language, his works studied and celebrated worldwide. Yet a shadow of doubt lingers over his legacy, the question of authorship. Did the man from Stratford-upon-Avon truly pen the masterpieces attributed to him? This essay delves into the heart of this enduring controversy, exploring the arguments for and against Shakespeare's authorship. The debate surrounding Shakespeare's authorship is not a recent phenomenon. It first surfaced in the 19th century, fueled by skepticism regarding the historical record and a romantic fascination with alternative candidates. Doubters, known as anti-Stratfordians, argue that a man of Shakespeare's humble origins and limited education could not have possessed the knowledge and sophistication evident in his works. They point to inconsistencies in historical documents and the absence of definitive proof linking Shakespeare to the plays. Seeds of doubt, challenging the bard's credentials. Anti-Stratfordians raise several compelling points that cast doubt on Shakespeare's authorship. They highlight his modest upbringing in Stratford-upon-Avon, a small town far removed from the bustling literary scene of London. Shakespeare's father was a glover and wool dealer, and there is no evidence that he received a formal education beyond grammar school. Doubters question how someone with such a limited background could have acquired the vast knowledge of history, law, courtly life, and classical literature displayed in the plays. Furthermore, no original manuscripts of Shakespeare's plays have ever been found. The only surviving texts are printed versions, some of which contain discrepancies and variations. Anti-Stratfordians seize upon these inconsistencies as evidence that the plays may have been the work of multiple authors or that they were heavily edited and revised after Shakespeare's death. The lack of concrete evidence directly linking Shakespeare to the plays fuels their skepticism. Unfit for stage, Shakespeare's lack of formal education. One of the most persistent arguments against Shakespeare's authorship centers on his supposed lack of education. Anti-Stratfordians contend that someone with his limited formal schooling could not have possessed the depth and breadth of knowledge evident in his works. They point to the play's intricate legal arguments, their sophisticated understanding of courtly manners, and their allusions to classical mythology and history as evidence that the author must have had a more extensive education than Shakespeare is believed to have received. Critics of the anti-Stratfordian view argue that formal education is not the only path to knowledge. Shakespeare could have acquired his vast learning through self-education, travel, and his experiences in the theatre. They point out that many playwrights of the time lacked formal university training and that Shakespeare's genius lay in his ability to absorb and transform the world around him into compelling drama. Whispers and theories alternative candidates emerge. Over the centuries, various alternative candidates have been proposed as the true authors of Shakespeare's works. One of the most popular contenders is Edward de Vere, the 17th Earl of Oxford. Supporters of this theory highlight de Vere's aristocratic background, his travels to Italy, the setting of many Shakespearean plays, and his known interest in literature and theatre. They argue that de Vere may have used the pseudonym William Shakespeare to protect his reputation, as it was considered unseemly for noblemen to write for the public stage. Other proposed candidates include Christopher Marlowe, a contemporary playwright whose writing style bears some resemblance to Shakespeare's. Francis Bacon, a philosopher and statesman known for his intellectual prowess, and even Queen Elizabeth I herself. While each of these theories has its proponents, none has garnered sufficient evidence to seriously challenge the traditional attribution to William Shakespeare. Section 5. The Case for Shakespeare. Evidence from the Time. Despite the doubts raised by anti-Stratfordians, a substantial body of evidence supports William Shakespeare's authorship of the plays and poems attributed to him. Contemporary documents, including theatre records, legal papers, and personal letters, consistently refer to William Shakespeare as a playwright and actor. These records place him in London during the time the plays were being written and performed, and they connect him to the Lord Chamberlain's Men, the acting company that performed many of his works. Furthermore, Several of Shakespeare's contemporaries, including fellow playwrights and writers, acknowledged him as the author of his works. Ben Jonson, a leading dramatist of the time, famously praised Shakespeare in a poem published in the First Folio in 1623, referring to him as the soul of the age and the sweet swan of Avon. These contemporary accounts provide strong evidence that Shakespeare was indeed recognized as the author of the plays during his lifetime. Section 6. Echoes of Genius. Shakespeare's legacy speaks volumes. Beyond the historical evidence, the sheer brilliance and enduring appeal of Shakespeare's works stand as a testament to his authorship. The plays exhibit a profound understanding of human nature, a mastery of language, and a timeless quality that continues to resonate with audiences centuries later. It is difficult to imagine that someone other than Shakespeare, with his unique blend of wit, insight, and poetic sensibility, could have created such enduring masterpieces. The arguments put forth by anti-Stratfordians, while intriguing, ultimately fail to account for the overwhelming body of evidence supporting Shakespeare's authorship. The lack of a smoking gun, a definitive piece of evidence proving beyond all doubt that Shakespeare wrote the plays, should not overshadow the wealth of circumstantial evidence and the enduring power of the works themselves. Section 7. Prominent voices, scholars fueling the debate. The Shakespeare authorship question has captivated the minds of scholars, historians, and literary enthusiasts for centuries. On one side of the debate, prominent Shakespearean scholars such as Stanley Wells, Jonathan Bate, and James Shapiro have vigorously defended Shakespeare's authorship. They point to the historical evidence, the contemporary accounts, and the stylistic consistency of the works as proof that the man from Stratford was indeed the true author. On the other side, organizations like the Shakespeare Authorship Trust and the Shakespeare Oxford Fellowship continue to promote alternative candidates and challenge the traditional attribution. They sponsor research, publish books and articles, and host conferences dedicated to exploring the authorship question. While their views remain outside the mainstream of Shakespearean scholarship, they continue to keep the debate alive. Section 8. Weighing the evidence, a balanced perspective. After considering the arguments for and against Shakespeare's authorship, it is essential to maintain a balanced perspective. While the anti-Stratfordian position raises valid questions and highlights some intriguing possibilities, it ultimately lacks the evidentiary foundation to overturn the traditional attribution. The historical record, the contemporary accounts, and the sheer brilliance of the works themselves all point to William Shakespeare as the true author. However, the persistence of the authorship debate speaks to the enduring power of Shakespeare's legacy. It is a testament to the timeless appeal of his works and the mystery that continues to surround his life and career. Whether or not we ever definitively know every detail of Shakespeare's life and work, the debate itself serves as a reminder of the enduring power of his genius. Section 9. The enduring mystery Shakespeare's authorship remains an enigma. The question of whether William Shakespeare truly wrote the plays and poems attributed to him is likely to remain a subject of debate for generations to come. While the evidence overwhelmingly supports his authorship, the lack of a definitive smoking gun leaves room for speculation and alternative theories. The mystery surrounding Shakespeare's life and work only adds to his allure, ensuring that his name will forever be associated with both literary genius and enduring enigma. In the end, perhaps the most important question is not who wrote the plays, but what makes them so enduringly powerful. Shakespeare's works continue to speak to us across the centuries, their themes of love, loss, ambition, and the human condition as relevant today as they were in Elizabethan England. Whether or not we ever fully unravel the mystery of his authorship, Shakespeare's legacy as a literary giant will remain secure.